definitely the goal is to go up there and show that we belong in every conversation globally when it comes to flag football. That's the goal, and so we're planning for that. My name is Nwankwo, and I'm the head coach of the male national flag football team, and we are the first ever IFAF African Continental Champions. It feels amazing. It feels like the way it feels when you had a plan and you executed it, like the way you wanted to execute it. So it feels pretty good. So if I remember correctly, in the final seconds of the game, we were having a big argument over whether we had the option to kneel and end the game. I think we had like maybe 20 something seconds left. I don't remember, but we had the option to either kneel and if we had the kneel would have ended the game, or try and score more points. I was of the mind that we should try and score more points, but a lot of people had a problem with that. So we were having that discussion. And then obviously once I ended up deciding to take a knee. So we took a knee, and so I guess leading up to the knee, the way I felt at that point was just pure vindication, like absolute, especially after, we went through a lot in the process of getting here and creating this team, went through a lot of adversity. So coming off the high of the women's team winning earlier that day, and the vindication that came with that win, and then coming into the male team and us winning the way we won against a team that beat us in the last round against the hosts in their territory with their home field advantage. It was, you can't manufacture that feeling. I'm very excited. It's exactly what we've been, to be completely honest, this is more of a long-term plan. So winning the African Continental Games was one part of the plan. So it's really a long-term plan. So we've done that. The plan was always go to World Games, where I think we're number one in Africa currently. I think we might be number 16 in the world. And the goal is to go up there and rank up and succeed. I think it would be kind of disrespectful to come up there and claim that you're just gonna go beat these legacy flag football teams, but definitely the goal is to go up there and show that we belong in every conversation globally when it comes to flag football. That's the goal, and so we're planning for that. So I'm not scared. I'm actually excited for the opportunity, because that's the point of this game. The only way you can be the best is if you beat people. And more than likely the people that you're beating, that you have to beat, they're gonna be very good. In this business, it's not good. I don't think it benefits you to be scared. Okay, from the female team, a player that surprised me the most, even though she's always been really good, is Buffet. Because of the way she came through on both sides of the ball, both offensively and defensively. Her dominant defensive performance. Everybody, I play quarterback as well, and I understand how you can't replace a defender that has decided that they're gonna take the ball away from the other team once a game or twice a game, consistently. And then come on offense and perform for you when you need her to. So she's definitely a big surprise. I've always known she was a good player, but this is a different level in this tournament. And then from the male team perspective, because of the fact that I primarily deal with the male team, I'm not sure. I guess my biggest surprise would be Nettie, which is why he got the GLD at the NFL from AJ Green. I gave him the GLD because he came through the entire tournament, had been a safe haven for our quarterback. He was there. He was he made the game easier for our quarterbacks, and he made their options less difficult. And then when we really needed him in the last 4 minutes of the championship, the final, he also came in at rusher on defense and completely shut down a quarterback who, for the last 3 drives, was basically doing whatever he wanted to us. So that, to me, that was a huge surprise. I've never seen him do it before, so that was huge for us. Realistically, my motivational tactic, I'm not really, we don't really, I think I let the players have their own pregame ritual. I know I tried my best to be a player coach to a large degree, which is the kind of, I try to be the coach that I wish I had when I played. And that's a coach that allows you to, and if the team decides collectively they want to have their own ritual, I let them. If they separately want to do their own thing. But from a motivational standpoint, for me, my factor is always, I have the highest standards. You doing your job is not impressive to me. Because that's what you signed up to do. And we just keep very high standards. I don't think anything can motivate you better than just having high standards. To correct you, it's not never gonna happen, because the NFL had just last season agreed that they were gonna allow 1 player per country per NFL team. So NFL players can now play for the country, their African country. But a team can only have 1 player per NFL team. And I think one of their IPP players, if they have an IPP, like African player that came through, then one of those, I believe. I think right now we have a very good team. We have a very good setup right now. Obviously, we're a sports team and a national team, and we're vying to be the best globally. So I can't sit up here and say that we're not open to Nigerian citizens. If you have a Nigerian passport and you're good at flag football and you show up to the tryouts, I don't even think we would be a responsible organization if we weren't open to the best Nigerian citizens showing up. But that's obviously, they have to show up and come try out and, go through the process like everybody else. But I would say that's categorically not true. Although, I do agree that there are some people who are never gonna get, but that's because maybe they don't have the talent, or they can't perform. So I think it's safe, I'm never gonna get picked for the Nigerian basketball team. I think that's a safe assumption. I don't think anyone's discriminating against me because they didn't pick me for the national basketball team. I'm not good enough. So that's the limiting factor that everybody has to deal with. But if you are good enough, I love winning. I don't plan on losing any competition that we show up to, as long as I'm the coach. So if you're the set of players that are most likely to make sure I never lose a game as a head coach are the players I'm going to put on the field. I have a selfish interest in putting the best players. So it makes no sense to exclude anybody who's based on anything other than the fact that they can play. Yes, I think that's what it means for Nigeria. Double gold, men's and women's, very dominant performances across the tournament. I think that makes us the face of African flag football. I personally have always believed we were. But obviously, when you're trying to believe something that big, until you can't claim it until you prove it in the public sphere, and I think we've done that. So I think that's big for us. It's big for the game. It's big that the largest country, population-wise, in the continent is leading the charge. And I think what this means is that the competition will increase. A lot of African countries will start taking it more seriously. I think being able to beat Nigeria, who's currently #1 in both sports, and you already know how Nigerians behave online and how much we brag I think the motivation to beat us and knock us off our pedestal will motivate a lot of good flag football, which is good for the game overall. So we welcome it. One, I think the first thing I would say is if you're young, especially if you're in secondary school and you play flag football, my first advice would be go online, go on the internet and look up and pay attention to all the things that NAFA are doing. So NAFA is the Nigerian American Flag Football Association. They're the federation of flag football and American football in Nigeria. They're the ones who carry the national team. And they also have the National High Secondary School Sports League. So if you're a young player in Nigeria and you're trying to get into the game of flag football, the first stop would be to get in touch with NAFA, see what they're doing. And then obviously, I welcome anyone to contact me. I would obviously direct them to the places they need to go. There are people who specialize in youth and like youth flag football, and those people do a really good job, and we'll send them to the right people. My name is Nwankwo. I'm the head coach of the male national flag football team, and this is Pulse Sports.